And now on Who's Views, it's time for the latest headlines with JT and the Whotastic panel.
Hello and welcome to Headlines from Who's Views. And have you heard? Those megastars of the 90s are back. And by God, they've just trounced the Doctor. Joining me to talk about this, we've got Third Doctor Ian and we've got Paul. Hello, both.
Hello.
Hi. So, listen, were you aware that the Gladiators are back on telly?
I had heard about it, but I wasn't that excited. I'm not a big fan, I have to say, but good luck to them anyway.
Yeah, doesn't particularly float my boat, but I know they're popular in certain quarters.
Yeah. Well, yes, and apparently there is a massive big fan base for the Gladiators. Now, this is a show, of course, that actually was on ITV in the 90s and was a huge Saturday night viewing. Saturday night just gone there, however, here in 2024, the BBC has brought it back. I have to say, I had heard something about this in the past year, and then I've forgotten about it because I never saw any of the original series either. So I was always aware of it, but wasn't into it. But it was back on Saturday night, broadcast January the 13th at 5:50 in the afternoon. And the big news about this is it's been a phenomenal success for them, pulling in over 6 million viewers on the overnight figure. I'll just say that again, everybody. 6 million viewers on the overnight. And I was thinking,
it's presented by Bradley
in this day and age, where we talk about the overnight figures not being important, why is it suddenly that they are for this particular achievement? Because this is a massive amount for 5:50, isn't it, on a Saturday night?
It's a huge amount for that time slot, isn't it?
It is. If you're going to do a comparison between that and the Christmas special for Doctor Who was on at the same time on Christmas Day, and they got less than that, didn't they? So I think it's bizarre that on Christmas Day you've got a captive audience, but Saturday night at the same kind of time you've got a better audience. Yeah, maybe the new series will do better if they're the same time slot. Who knows?
Will it? I mean, what I'm saying here. Now, this is actually within 2 weeks. This is another television show that's proving the point I've been mouthing off about for a good number of years now. If you put something on the television that people want to see, they will come and watch it on the night, bums on seats, and watch this. We talked about this in the rating show last week. I've always believed this, but I've always had a number of people saying, oh no, viewing habits have changed, television's changed, people change. Now, if this is 6 million overnights, what's the consolidated going to be? Because people came along, just over 6 million. I'm going to keep saying it. It's a huge success. How incredible is that? And you can see some of it. Now, the press got hold of this yesterday, as I say, but there was a lot more today. Look at this. Gladiators BBC reboot rakes in whopping 6.4 million viewers for its first episode 24 years after ITV cancelled the show. 6 million viewers tune in for the return of Gladiators. Gladiators, big return to TV, impresses viewers. 6 million viewers, BBC viewers watched Gladiators return. UK TV ratings, Gladiators back with a bang. Gladiators, Gladi-Brilliant, that's typical of the song. Gladi-Brilliant, Gladiators reboot has saved Saturday night as magic mix of muscles and nostalgia sees it smash TV ratings. This is huge for the BBC, 6 million overnight. And are we going to be told that the overnights don't matter anymore?
Yeah. It's really sad though, we're at a position that 6 million is such a big figure, because back in the day, 6 million was nothing.
It is a bit, but it still stands here, isn't it? Let's see who's in the chat. I want to say hello to Garbage, who's watching us. Hiya, Garbage. We've got Alfie123. Lovely to see you. Nice to Junior. And we've got from his own very breakfast show there, Med in the Morning. Hello, long time watcher, first time talker. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. And we've got Blue Captain Jack. Evening to all. Here's Bedouia saying evening to us. Hello, nice to see you.
Hello,
Medley,
Bedouia.
evening. And Kirsty's watching us as well. Hiya, Kirsty. Nice to see you. Yeah, so we've got all this. Now, we didn't see this, did we? Because, you know, we weren't aware or what have you. We just didn't get to see this. But we do have somebody joining us now that did watch it. So let's bring him on now from the Whotastic panel. It's Phil. Hiya, Phil.
Hello there.
Phil.
Hello.
How are you?
Very well, thank you.
Good.
And you didn't mention it when you were doing the recap, but Gladiators has come back once already. And it
Yes, for Sky Television, apparently.
Sky, yeah. And
but it wasn't as big, was it, Phil?
Well, no, because I only just remembered it. So I did a quick Google, and apparently that opened with 1.5 million viewers.
Now, this is interesting then, isn't it? Because if Sky Television didn't have... it's what they call the limited edition series, that particular one, because it didn't go on and on and on. So something's happened between their version and this. And I wonder if it's possibly acting... This is what audience... it was something different. Now, you watched it. What was your experience of watching this with your family?
So, I mean, watching this new one. So I knew it was coming back. And obviously I watched it. I was 11 when it started. So it was a big part of our Saturday night viewing when we were kids. And yeah, I knew it was coming back, but I didn't realize it was this Saturday just gone.
Right.
So we just had my son's birthday party. I sat around the table and Lucy reminded me, that Gladiators is on. And I said, I'm probably not going to bother because the BBC are doing it. And last time that Sky had bought it back, they bought it back all sort of po-faced and serious. And so I didn't really fancy it, but you know, I did it anyway. So we went in and, you know, put Sky on. It says, do you want to watch it from the start? Spare the details, Phil. No, let's give the details. Anyway, I did watch it from the start. And then there's this magical big kind of triangular metal G, and it's got the old music going. That's the Badger. And it was immediately just like being back on a Saturday night as a kid. It was exactly what I wanted. And then, yeah, there was a big arena and there's people with big foam hands giving it some.
This is a huge set. Look at that.
I think it's in Sheffield, isn't it? It's like the Sheffield Arena or something.
Right.
But it was on Saturday, it was everything I remembered of Gladiators. So when a contestant gets knocked off a pedestal or whatever, they'd play "We Will Rock You" or another one bites the dust.
Yeah, just explain that, because I don't get it. Is this like the old "It's a Knockout"? They do games, do they?
Yeah.
So like you've got like a massive cotton bud with big padded ends. You're both on these. You're high up in the air, except the guy is massive and he is pummeling you. So that dude, the contender in the red, he took 2 blows to the head and fell off within seconds.
And this is on Saturday afternon. Well,
this is on Saturday afternoon.
That sounds problematic to me. If you ask me.
Sounds like something I might watch.
I think it's very much up your street. There's something for everything. There's something for everyone. You've got the guys, you know, in their leotards. You've got the girls in their leotards. You've got the whole fighting thing that the kids loved. So both of my boys were captivated by it, to the point that Zach, the youngest, went to bed halfway through. In the morning, he asked if we could watch it so he could see the end. And then when they've got home from school tonight, they've said, can we watch Gladiators? And I said, we've only got 1 episode. It'll be the same one. So they said, can we watch an old one? So we ended up watching the first episode today. And interestingly, I noticed that the old series is a bit further away. They have done a bit of changing to it. So there's no more kind of cheerleaders or anything like that were in the old one. Now the men go first rather than the ladies. And they've evened it up so that the men and the ladies have the same events. Whereas in the older one, the women had it, you know, slightly easier. They didn't have quite the same setup on the assault courses and things like that. So there are kind of subtle changes there. But yeah, I mean, for me, it was more or less the same thing, and we absolutely loved it.
I'm glad they've kept the cotton buds though, Phil, because I've got a couple of as we seem to have lost you if you look down. I've actually brought a couple of mascots who make fantastic contestants. And as you're a fan of the Sixth Doctor, Phil,
Yes.
he's the most violent Doctor I've ever. I've got him here with a cotton bud there, and he make a great, fantastic contestant. And so you don't feel left out that John does Venusian Aikido. He's got one as well.
Beautiful.
So if you want to do some kind of action later, we can bring your figures.
I think we should.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, cotton
we
buds. I'm glad they kept them in. That's good.
I just want to apologise. I'm having internet issues this evening, so the guys are more than capable of carrying on if anything happens here. So sorry about that, guys. Just keep going if it goes on here, because I'm not sure what's happening. But anyway, so where are we up to on that one? Sorry.
So yeah,
we're just talking cotton buds and doctors there. So.
Oh, fair enough.
My little characters, the cotton buds.
Oh, that's very good.
The two most violent doctors in the series. I was going to give Colin. I've got a Cyberman gun as well. I was going to give a gun as well, but plus the cotton buds, but I couldn't find it. So
we've got all this going on here, though. Garbage is saying here it really needed to be better. Really needed to better. Sorry, different presenters. Bored of Bradley and his. But now, yeah, that's a good point, isn't it? Because this is being hosted by Bradley Walsh, which Doctor Who people will know, because apparently he was in that reboot version. And I've got this picture of him here. Have I gone again?
No, he's still there.
You got your picture?
Yeah, we got the picture up, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So, just a little fact: the one on the left there, the bigger of the very big lads, that's Giant, and him and I have something very much in common.
And what's that?
In his introduction, it says that he eats 6 meals a day and around 7,000 calories. And so basically, if I keep at it, I could be a gladiator.
Well, this is interesting because the gladiators are called. We've got Giant, Electro, Nitro, Comet, Steel, Fury, Legend, Dynamite, Apollo, Diamond, Viper, Athena, Bionic, Fire, Phantom, and Saber. Whew. I've also got some. Look at this. I mean, I don't know who they are in any sort of order, but it just over. Oh, look, he's into this now. Look at this. Over 6 million people tuned in for all of this. Oh dear. Oh, I'm not sure why anybody. Oh, I'm really not. Oh goodness. Why would anybody really want to tune into? To watch all? Why? I just don't understand why anybody would want to tune in and watch these really big, large gentlemen in spandex. It's got out in here.
For balance, can we
that's
have,
JT's Christmas story. Get my DVD for Christmas. That'll sort him out.
Goodness me. I have to start Blu-ray. What are you saying, Phil?
Blu-ray, beg your pardon, yeah.
I think for balance, you should go Diamond and...
Who?
She was my favourite. No, it's just Diamond. Diamond's a new...
Oh, yeah, there's some women in it.
There she is.
Which one's Diamond, Phil? Which one?
Diamond is bottom right.
Bottom right.
I'm sure she is, yeah.
Yeah, enough of that.
Another thing about it, though, 90s lady gladiators were quite kind of svelte and gymnastic, whereas modern day gladiators, they're really buff.
Well, I suppose nowadays they can't, like you were saying earlier about they do the same competitions and everything, the same events. It's nowadays, because we've had this, everybody's the same. There is no difference with gender. That's been force-fed for so long. They've got no option, have they? They'd have no justifiable, especially the BBC. You know, they've got no argument whatsoever for making it any different at all. The only thing that surprised me is if they are all the same, then, you know, do we see men versus women? Put it to the test. Be interesting.
I mean, it is interesting.
I'll have a go, but I pick the gladiators.
I just can't believe that. You know, what we've got here though is there's a lot of hypocrisy going on here, because we have had this in Doctor Who. The overnights don't matter. The overnights don't matter. They obviously do, because here we have this 6 million viewed show on one night for the overnights. I can't wait to see what the consolidators for this are going to be, because obviously they're going to go back and watch this again, aren't they, via their iPlayer and what have you?
Well, like you were saying, Phil, with your children, you know, they wanted to watch the end of it. They wanted to watch more. People will watch it on record, and it'll push it up and up and up. And if Doctor Who's anything to go by with the way the BBC does its figures, you know, you could see probably 11 million be brilliant if it did, because it would really, really, really show them a thing or two.
But it's
Well, it would
exactly
certainly-
what, like, I want on a Saturday night. You know, it's that just before bedtime for the kids' time where you want them to calm down a bit. So you want to watch something on the telly, but I don't want to think about it. I want to sit down and I want the entertainment to be kind of given to me. I don't want to have to think in any way. And it's exactly that. And furthermore, it's exactly what I wanted of it, because I know Gladiators. And yeah, it's just given me more of what I want. And it has been updated, and it's been updated subtly, and it's a bit more modern. But
In what sense?
Well, like the thing that the girls do the same, exactly the same things as the boys now. There's no cheerleaders anymore. I noticed on the old commentary tonight that when he introduced one of the lady gladiators, he gave her measurements, which is very, it was like 30 words.
What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
like Miss World kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
they were ex-Miss Worlds as well.
Yeah.
So Panther was 2-time ex-Miss World. So there's none of that anymore. But so it is kind of moderner. But it's still fun. But it's just fun. Everyone's there for a laugh.
I was going to ask you, Phil. You said you put this on to let the kids calm down. How hyper were they when they started off before they watched it? Because when I was a kid, we used to watch Batman, the old Adam West Batman. When the fight sequences kicked off, we were really hyper from that. So I'd imagine your kids must be really kind of want to have a go after watching that and have a play, you know?
Well, in the morning, we did recreate some of the events,
right,
using a series of cushions and a Nerf gun.
Oh, fantastic.
Well, speaking of the kids, and hopefully my internet will last through this bit on this particular one. One of Phil's lads has actually given us a video, and this is what he thought about this. Have a look at this.
Hi, I really like Gladiators on Saturday night. We all watched it as a family, and I really enjoyed seeing who won.
Brilliant.
Fantastic. Well done.
But he likes it when we can all sit and watch something.
No, Phil, sorry, you're wrong.
No.
TV audiences have changed. That kind of family event doesn't happen anymore. The BBC have told us.
Well, no, I'm going to have words with him on Saturday. Say, stop being so bloody old-fashioned, Ted. You get learning about your genders.
Yeah, grow up for God's sake. Yeah,
what's wrong with you?
It is very
more colours in that logo as well.
Yeah. It is very interesting, though, isn't it, guys? When you look at this, because just because of what has happened, and as I keep saying, if you put something good on the television, the people will come, and this has just proved it. As did Mr. Bates versus the Post Office a couple of weeks ago. So I just don't, what's the situation with this? Are they going to keep telling us the overnights don't matter?
I think the BBC sometimes are a little bit like politicians in that, well, aside from being monumentally full of shit, that I think they forget that we're in an era of social media. Sometimes they forget that we can still access stuff that's been said previously, even if they deny it. So they think that they can say overnights matter now and it's important. Let's champion them because they look good. But they think that we don't remember that a couple of weeks previously when they were crap, they said that they didn't matter. And what they haven't cottoned onto is that we do remember, we do have the ability to, if we didn't remember it, go back and find it. And that we can compare two things that they've said 2 weeks apart and we can see that they are blatant hypocrites because that is what they are. Doctor Who's were crap and they didn't matter. Gladiators are great and they're the best thing since sliced bread, from the same voice, the BBC. It's just hypocrisy 101. That's what it is.
It doesn't bode well for the next series, though, that comes out in May for our favourite TV show, does it?
Well, I said before, I think doing it in May is a mistake anyway. That's a wrong time of year to do it. But it's interesting, though, if you think if Gladiators can get this kind of figure, like I said earlier, on a Saturday night at 10 to 6, why can't Doctor Who? But as Ian's alluded to or said plainly, that it's crap. So that's why people are not watching Doctor Who.
I think that's my point. I think it's because, am I blipping again?
A little bit.
Okay, well, yeah. Well, my point is, I think Doctor Who is now out of touch with the British public.
Yeah.
You know, they don't want to watch it because look at what's just happened here. A load of people in these really butch outfits, these lovely butch leotards. Oh, just over 6 million.
Yeah. And you put Shooty in a pair of boxers and he gets nothing.
Well, something is definitely going on with the viewing public here, isn't it?
Hmm.
You know,
Is it possible? And it's just a theory that I've just come up with, so I haven't really walked it through.
okay, go ahead.
Is it possible that perhaps the BBC has realised that perhaps the messaging and things is a bit much, and maybe this is Gladiators is them dipping their toe into this is just entertainment. There's nothing more to this, and perhaps maybe it'll drop off. Maybe Saturday was a nostalgia blip, and everyone's like, oh, okay, I'm over Gladiators now, and they won't carry on watching it. But maybe if it keeps going, maybe this is the beginning of the return of common sense.
Let's hope so.
I doubt it. I'm going to say that I doubt it. You're right in that the proof of the pudding will be episode 2 and episode 3. How many weeks is this thing on for Gladiators?
I think there's a lot of episodes. I think there's 11 or 12 because they have to have quarterfinals and semi-finals.
So this basically could be another Strictly for them. Strictly at the end of the year, Gladiators at the beginning of the year, because they've lost some other shows to ITV, haven't they? Like the Voice UK, etc., etc. They all disappeared and went to ITV. So here now you've got another thing that they've got on a Saturday night, because they've always been desperate for a Saturday night hitter, haven't they? It looks like they may have it, and if it's going on for that long every week, the proof in the pudding is going to be what comes next, isn't it? Episode 2, episode 3. Can it sustain the audience? From what you're saying, Phil, it looks like it could possibly, and because it's had today an awful lot of people, talking about it. And also all this coverage of all this sort of Gladiators gets the highest viewing figures and all this sort of stuff. That's going to have an effect, surely, because people will come and see episode 2.
Well, I think it'll go up on Saturday because, like I said, I didn't realise it was on Saturday. So, now people know it was good and it was on. I think more people will sit down to watch it on Saturday.
I actually think you will. It's going to be great, actually, to see this, and we'll report on this at some point. It's going to be good to see the consolidated for episode 1, and then we'll also look and see what the overnights are for episode 2. Yeah. But what you were saying there as well, Phil, the problem we've got, and I've said this before, is that series 1 and series 2 of Doctor Who are in the can.
Yep.
And they will follow what we've just had. There will be the same tone, the same messaging running through it. They can't do anything about that now. No. I think we're in for a very interesting time when it comes to these ratings, and I'm going to compare them all the time to the Gladiators.
Well, I mean, there is the other possibility that episode 1 and 2 are the ones to get you into it, and then episode 3 is the one where, there's a miscellaneous category, and there's that. They could spoil it. There's still time.
True. Why would you? Is it live? Or will it be recorded? Or?
No, I think it must be recorded.
Well, I don't think they'll do that. Then why would they mess the format forward? And if time will tell over the weeks there. But if they're all recording it back to back, like they would have to do Mr. Walsh's schedule as well, because he's in everything now, isn't he?
Yeah.
And his son is terrible as well.
Oh, go on, give us a comment.
No, he's just awful. It's genuinely his dad's got him a job.
It's the second job. He did that driving thing with him as well, didn't he? Around America.
I didn't see that. No, I didn't know.
That's his second job. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, he's got him a second job. I doubt he'll get him a third on the strength of So it's not perfect, but it was genuinely. I loved it. Look how excited I am talking about it. I did really enjoy it.
And you're also talking of the benefit. This is how people used to talk about Doctor Who, because you had the family with you.
It is.
And so you're having that whole family experience. Now that didn't happen with the 4 Doctor Who's we just had. No. And now here it is with this particular show that's come back after 25 years. So it's a whole brand new generation that's never even seen the original one.
Oh, it's great. Zach's all like, he's knocked him off, Daddy. And then Ted was like, how many points does he get for that? It was like interactive telly. Yeah.
It's a shame that Eureka isn't here. Med in the Morning agrees with that. Bring back Eureka, and Fash. Bredwia is saying here, Doctor Who will probably get the Gladiators slot in 11 weeks' time. Then we can make a direct comparison. 5:50 though. I always heard that the BBC or Russell T Davies wanted it back at 7 on a Saturday. Back where that is, but 5:50, it could happen, couldn't it, guys?
Yeah, be interesting to see what slot it does get.
Alfie's saying here he would look forward to a killer BBC Saturday lineup of Gladiators and Doctor Who. I bet you it would dip up after Gladiators as they pop over the other side to see Anton Deck.
Yeah, it wouldn't work with this Doctor Who, would it?
No, it does suggest to me. Do you remember when the show came back? Doctor Who was doing that well. Even Anton Deck was trounced.
Yeah,
I think the shoe's on the other foot now. What do you guys think about that?
Well, it feels like it's gone a little bit back to the way it was looked at in the late 80s. That people weren't watching it as much as we'd hoped to watch it, even though it was really, really good. But I think the public are very much not into it anymore. They've had enough of Doctor Who, and they want something else. And I think all this preachiness. As Phil said, they just want entertainment like Gladiators to have fun and enjoy it.
Or they want entertainment like Anton Deck, and that's why they're turning over to watch them.
True.
And as much as I dislike them, I mean, it's easy viewing for a Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that seems to be a return to that from the British public. We've got Med saying here, Med in the morning saying Gladiators is pure entertainment, so no need to commit to every week. That's an interesting point. The problem with Doctor Who is the fact you feel you have to know what has happened. You can't dip in and out.
After show as well, just to find out what the hell.
Yeah,
just explain it all. Yeah.
It's an interesting point, that, isn't it? Whereas this one, it's as you guys are saying, as Phil was saying, this is pure entertainment.
That's what people just want to do, though. They just want to sit down and have fun. They don't want to be preached to. They don't want to be lectured. They don't want to be told that they're bad people. They just want to have fun. And watching Doctor Who with the BBC for the last 5 years has just been preachy, woke, judgmental crap, especially if you're a white male, because, you've got to become a woman and have an upgrade. We're all, and it's just, it's not fun anymore. Gladiators is obviously fun. It's captured a family dynamic that Doctor Who used to have. I think ITV puts something on against Doctor Who, it'll get slaughtered. Doctor Who will get slaughtered.
What do they usually show that
time of year? Buck Rogers in the making. That'll be history repeating itself again.
I wish he'd stop swearing on the show. It's outrageous.
Sorry, I said the B word. Yeah, sorry about that.
Even nonsense, I tell you. But this is the whole point of this. I mean, good for the BBC in a sense. I'm not saying anything about that. Good for the BBC. They may have just found the magic pot they've been desperately looking for a couple of years at least. And if you're coming back, Phil, saying that, the fact this is good old-fashioned family entertainment, that could tie in with what we're saying here as well. That could be the thing to be able to say, listen, you're going about things the wrong way for their own sake. Well,
I think if they brought back Primeval, that would tank Doctor Who, and that was rotten.
Oh, that was terrible, wasn't it? That was terrible.
Yeah,
I tried so hard to get into that. They made it so difficult, didn't they?
Oh, awful. Yeah.
Listen, thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you, everybody that's in the chat. Keep the comments coming here. Doctor Who has just been trounced by the Gladiators. Over 6 million UK people turned in to BBC One to watch the first episode of a show that hasn't been on air for 25 years. Does that sound familiar? So we're asking here, do the overnight ratings matter? In this case, when it works for them, it really seems that they do.
Can I ask, who's the showrunner of Gladiators? Could they not jump over to Disney and work with them? It's never too late. It's never too late. If they can do reshoots for the Christmas special, they can do reshoots for other episodes, but they're not going to do that, are they? They're not going to change. Not for the better, are they?
No.
It doesn't look like it at all, does it? I mean, because of all this, what we've got here. I mean, I was just so impressed by this. And it just really brought it all home to me, to the fact that we're always told this and this and this and this, but 6 million. And then to get all these headlines. And I'm really interested in the consolidated and how many people go and watch this. Alfie Monk has given me an instruction here, guys. Don't know if you've seen it. He said, read this out. Gladiators will beat Doctor Who always. It's an icon of Saturday night. Sorry, but that is the truth, everyone.
Well, so was Doctor Who once upon a time.
Yeah. But I think Alfie has a point. If Doctor Who was on straight after Gladiators, the viewing figures would do that.
Yeah.
Straight on. People would switch over or switch on.
Yeah, it really was. I mean, Phil, is this something that your family's going to be tuning into every week while it's on air?
Well, absolutely. I mean, they're already asking for the second episode now. I think it's also kind of old school in the fact you have to wait a week for the next episode. It's not all available on iPlayer now. So yeah, I think we'll.
So have you coerced your children to watch it, or were they keen to watch it without any influence?
I think my kids still like me at the minute, so I'm quite lucky. So if I say, "Oh, do you want to watch this?" then they'll want to because I like it. But now they like it on their own because it was their idea to watch more of it tonight.
And have you let your kids watch Colin Baker episodes and stuff like that?
Yeah, we watched Time Lash with Ted. He loved it. He never said he loved it, but you could see in his eyes. Attack of the Cybermen was the first classic Who Ted watched. So that's the first one we sat down and watched together. And he loved that this is what the Cybermen do to you, plastic arm thing. He loved
Fantastic,
it. Yeah.
Well, it's a really interesting discussion, and we wanted to bring it to you all this evening in case you hadn't heard about this, because there is an awful lot. This does affect what we are told as Doctor Who fans do, but I think we have to say a huge congratulations to BBC Studios along with Hungry Bear Media and MGM Alternative UK for a smash hit on a Saturday night at 5:50. You know, this could be the show the BBC has wanted for quite a little bit of time now, back on a Saturday night, but as fans, I think we need to remember this. It got 6 million overnight on its first episode. We have to see what happens with episode 2, 3, 4, etc., don't we?
All those headlines will just those headlines will just do one thing, and that is it will generate a massive amount of interest for Saturday.
I couldn't believe how much news there was this morning. Like, because I watched it. I told a few people yesterday that I watched it, and then first thing before you start work is you have a look on the headlines, and it was everywhere. I mean, it was on every news channel. Was something about 6 million viewers for Gladiators, and Gladiators are back. In the same way that there was nothing really for when David Tennant came back for the specials. There was a bit here and there, but
they didn't get that much. That's the whole point, isn't it? They didn't get that. Let's have a look at that again, shall we? These were the ratings for the Doctor Who's: 5.8 overnight, 4.83 overnight, 4.62 overnight, 4.73 overnight.
That's woeful. Absolutely woeful. Absolutely embarrassing.
And then the Lycra lot gets 6.
And they haven't even got the big metal hamster balls that they used to have. And even with that
would have added 2 million at least for that, surely.
Yeah. They haven't even got that.
Maybe they're saving that for later in the run.
Maybe.
Yeah, like they do with the Daleks, but they'll bring the balls on instead.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And there'll be a scene where Bradley Walsh turns around and goes, the Atlas spheres. And then that'll be the end of the episode. And then next week, they'll be back on.
Absolutely. Kirsty's saying here, it's on for 11 weeks. It'll be interesting as things get warmer. Saturday night warm telly. Garbage is saying, Alfie, compared to Doctor Who, it's cheap. I don't know what that's about, sorry. But he can also see the figures going up.
I think they will.
I think they will.
Before going out viewing as well, in the olden days when I'd be going to the pub or whatever.
Yeah, all they need now is Blind Date on after it, because that was the big Saturday night. Gladiators and then Scylla came on with Blind Date. I do remember the sort of format they had there. So all they need that now is no place for Doctor Who then. And I'm
surprised they've not got Blankety Blank on, because Bradley does that as well. So back-to-back Bradley.
He does everything, doesn't he? It's like a male Alison Hammond.
Omnipresent.
Bloody everywhere. It's like a mold. You just lift everything up. Bradley.
Yeah.
They'll have a show together at some point. It's bound to.
I'm sure.
The
two Bradleys.
They could do Cluedo. We could bring this back. This is getting perfect.
What we need is Noel's house party. That's never going to happen. Garbage, but that was another good one, wasn't it?
Crinkly Bottom, come back.
Crinkly Bottom. Well,
that's problematic.
Problematic.
Mr. Blobby's problematic.
Oh, and there might actually be some of them already in the BBC. Let's face it. Well, listen. Thank you. We wanted to bring this headline to you because it is a headline, and it is something that is interesting for Doctor Who fans. Because, as I said at the top of the show, we are all told overnights don't matter. Here now, we have an example that actually they do. And the question I'm asking is the industry hypocritical? Does it depend on the show? Does it depend on who's producing the show? I really do think it is. Thank you for liking this. We're gonna finish off now. This has been Headlines Tonight. Thank you very much for coming on. Thank you for all the lovely comments in there as well. Sorry about my technical issues, but that's fine. Don't forget, if you haven't liked the video, please like the video, give it a like. And if you haven't subscribed to our channel, please subscribe to the channel. And yeah, put the word about 6 million for the Gladiators. Huge congratulations to all of them. Phil, enjoy the run. All the next 10 weeks with the family. I'm sure you will. I probably won't be watching it at all. I mean,
You'll
really.
be recording it.
I might have to tell my mother for some reason and say, listen, can I come round on a Saturday night? I don't know why. So anyway, so yes, thank you so much indeed for joining us. Tune in next time we're on here for Headlines. Until we see you next time. Thanks to all the Whotastic panel here. Thanks, guys.
Good night.
We'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.